Okay, the next item on our agenda is superintendent's recommendations and reports. Turn it back over to Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Birding. At this time, I would like to ask Mr. Martin to cover the items listed under Personnel Professional.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Birding and members of the board, I have several items for you this evening under Personnel Professional. Item number 1, extracurricular resignations. Item number 2, employment. Letter A is extracurriculars for the current school year. Item B, ESL tutors for the current school year. Letter C, a reading tutor. This is for Title I non-public school, St. Anne's, for the current year. Letter D, reading math tutor for Title I non-public school, Sacred Heart, for the current year. By the way, both C and D do not come out of our funds. They come out of other state and federal funds, in this case, federal funds. Letter E, substitute teachers for 2021, and letter F, substitute nurses for 2021. That concludes the items I have for you this evening under Personnel Professional.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. At this time, I will entertain a motion to accept the recommendations.
So moved.
Second.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch who seconded that. Okay. So, Mr. Begley and Mrs. Gundrum. Any questions or concerns? Okay, Mrs. Lamb, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Begley?
Yes.
Mrs. Gundrum?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mrs. Shorter?
Yes.
Mr. Birding?
Yes. Motion passes. Okay, the next item is personnel support.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Penny to cover the items listed under Personnel Support.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Birding, members of the board, I have the following items for your consideration this evening under personnel support. Under item number 1, resignations, letters A through E. Under item number 2, unpaid leave of absence, letters A and B. This concludes the items I have for your consideration this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Penny. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve those recommendations.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Begley and Mrs. O'Neill, any questions, comments? Hey, Mrs. Lane, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Begley?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mrs. Shorter?
Yes.
Mrs. Gundrum?
Yes.
Mr. Birding?
Yes, motion passes.